And just like that, it's Thursday morning.
Unreal. Week is clicking by.
Thursday night football, lots of parties.
I love Thursday. Thursday's a good day at F45 because it is a lift day. So it's either heavy upper body or heavy lower body. And it was a heavy upper body day today. And I got some bad news this morning for me, I think. I did my bod pod test, 20% body fat. So I'm a little high. I gotta cut 5%.
The scale of bad news, dude. That's scared the shit out of me, man. I got bad news.
I was going to announce something really horrible at the start of the huddle.
Are you in a contest or something? It's like, are you going on stage?
I'm going to release my manifesto right now.
As you might notice, I am committed to getting back in shape, and so I will be there in the new year. I am feeling good. The knee is good. I'm running. I'm stairs. I'm boxing. Doing a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm ready to go there.
I love it.
Yeah,
good morning, Eddie Dykes. Good to see you here this morning.
Eddie Dykes, I'm surprised he's here because they're inundated. The lines are around Weston, waiting to get into Weston Jewelers. Make sure you get out there to get your gift. It is the gift that always keeps on giving. You can't miss it. Get somebody the red box.
It works every time.
It's every time. Red box, blue box, whatever it is.
I gotta work on the gifts.
You had a wonderful opportunity to speak to the Sistel sisters and group yesterday. You want to give us a little insight into that?
I got to speak to their entire management group.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Oh yeah, it was a big Zoom call, and it was Nancy Roy-Stilwell joining Team Mark. Let's go, Nancy. Great post yesterday. Love the content that I'm seeing coming from you. Saw you got to meet my dad in person, which was awesome. But let's go.
Team Mark. Steve punching bag day, man.
Anyway, the call with Sistel was absolutely just phenomenal. Great feedback, great engagement. I think that's the thing that most people don't understand about a virtual presentation. I started the presentation by asking everybody, what are the biggest problems that we have in leadership? And I had everybody coming at me with different communication, accountability, all the different things that I was going to talk about throughout the presentation. But then I led them into the real problem is we don't know the difference between managing and leading. And so that's the way the conversation started, was talking about the differences between those two skill sets and those two behaviors. And they were asking questions. They were going situationally. How do you deal with somebody when you're trying to push them past the plateau? And it was just really great. And so
keeping along that theme, people who want to be coached is good. Got to have that. Not everybody's coachable. We agree, right? But when someone wants to do it and actually does it, that's Nancy. That's why I went in person. Nancy's just committed, driven, doing lots of great stuff. So, I very rarely, go out to, anything anymore. Shay, you gonna show us?
I didn't know where.
Like, hello, he's off doing something else. I'm like, hello.
Yeah, I love it. Great picture.
So we hit the ground running yesterday, man. Went over a lot of stuff. And, when I get the opportunity to share the kind of stuff I shared, I was lit up, man. I think my car was like off the ground driving home, man.
Where are you guys there? Trying to figure out where you were in the background.
We went to have breakfast at First Watch in Boca.
Oh, nice.
Because originally I said, hey, you're in Palm Beach. I'm here. We'll meet in Boca. We'll go to Farmer's Table. Farmer's Table no longer serves breakfast.
Wow.
Bummer.
That's crazy.
So out for breakfast with Nancy, which was awesome. Off to a great start. And then out to dinner last night at one of my favorite restaurants, Timpano. Shout out to Mark. He's an awesome dude. If you have not been to Timpano, please do it. That is Scott with his wife, Andrea. They are from Chicago. So eating outdoors last night, they were like, what? They were like, this is insane. It was incredible.
Scott's got a nice haircut.
So He tells me, "Yeah, I got my hair cut today. Great tip from your son." I go, "You spoke to my son?"
Yeah.
And he was in town. He had breakfast with RJ. He met with Kevin Jean, and I was
Right.
like, I'll just step out of the way, man. I was like, when you open your network and people take it,
Oh man.
we
Yeah,
had
I got to give him the recommendation of going to Nobleman's. I gave him my barber, I gave him everything, and then he gave him a shout out on LinkedIn yesterday, which was super cool.
Well, I will tell you that he's getting closer to taking it all the way down,
I love it.
which is kind of cool. Enough.
Two shout outs real quick before we go. Melissa Graves and Michelle, both of you guys, thank you for the feedback from yesterday. Melissa actually went on Glassdoor immediately and wrote a review about what it was like working at Sistel, because that was part of our conversation about how you drown out the noise of deserters or people who don't fit into your culture. So great job, Melissa. Awesome to see that you did that. And let's get after it.
Fantastic. We start with wake this thing up. Let's go. Wake up, everybody. Get up, get up, get up, get up. We got, come on. Wake up, everybody. Teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen what you have to say. So before we move on, I do have a really important shout out. Shout out to Helen, because I am dragging her everywhere. We have had more events and more parties, and this is a busy time of year for her. She is standing tall. She's fantastic. And so a shout out to my lady. Thanks for being on my arm during all this. And we're doing it again tonight. So it's crazy.
So Shay, I don't know if you have this loaded or not, but I made the boo-boo yesterday of not mentioning this because I said that I would, because Haley, who is the CEO of Allison South Marketing, who's been helping promote this event, asked me if I would do this. And I said, of course. But I don't know, obviously, what's happening this weekend, the boat parade, right? Yes. Major event in South Florida, right? Tons of people that are going to be there. And there are people within our network that are doing a great event during the boat parade. So Hayden and ABC Cares is partnering with, let me make sure that I get this correctly. It is, what foundation is it?
1 second. Did they pay for this time?
But either way, so Hayden's putting together a great party Saturday night. There's tickets available. There's a buffet. There's a gourmet buffet. There's great view, open bar, great people. I unfortunately cannot be there to attend. It's Children's Harbor. Thank you, Greg, for the assist. So it's Children's Harbor and ABC Cares. Proceeds go towards those nonprofits. It's going to be a great event. There's availability. So if you guys are interested, we have a QR code that we can scan. We have the link to go there. Joy Linsky is going to be there. So there's tons of people from the Huddle that are already going to be a part of it. Kevin Jean. So spread the word, spread the news that there's room and there's space available. And if people are interested, we have the ability to help you get tickets.
So last night was the JA holiday party, and I was unable to make it because Scott and his wife were in town. Her dad just passed away, and so it was kind of, we wanted to have some fellowship and camaraderie. But nice job. Great to shout out. Stacy Miller's here this morning. She puts together events for these organizations. She did one for the air conditioning.
I missed the conga line.
Greg Goldstein's everywhere. It's like, where in the world is Greg Goldstein, man? He's everywhere. He's at every event.
There needs to be a montage of Greg Goldstein. He was mentioned all over GOTB Live yesterday, having virtual coffees with everybody there. He's showing up in conga lines. He's absolutely everywhere.
So great. He's pretty amazing. I think it's a somber note. I think if you go back to the root of it, but today in 1980, John Lennon was shot by Mark David Chapman. Now, obviously you were really, really young. the reality of the whole situation is that it was announced during Monday Night Football, which was like, holy cow, wow, this happened. And, you can only think, what if that didn't happen? Would he have collaborated with Paul McCartney again? And, there were so many things. But I thought in honor of that, we're going to have a double shot of motivational music. So in honor of that, we're going to play the song Imagine. Just imagine. Listen to the words.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no country. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. Religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world.
So that last line, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. As we close out the year, if you're not dreaming, man, I don't know how you live.
Well, that to me, the call to action after that is I hope that one day you may join us.
Yeah, just
right. Like,
come on, the dreamers are the ones that make it happen all the time. And so, what a fan I am of music and art and theater and movies, but the words matter. If you listen to the words of that song, and that's what really drives me. People say, what happens when you're in a funk, man? What do you do? I listen to music, man. Music changes my tempo, changes my cadence. That song
is what's happening in there.
Yeah.
And like that was part of the conversation yesterday, about cultivating a mindset, right? Like, how do you control your attitude, which leads to actions, which leads to results? And we live in this cycle of attitude, action, result, attitude, action, result. How do you control that? It's cultivating what's happening in there. And as soon as I heard that, as soon as I heard him just say those 3 sentences, I was like, yeah, let's go,
So double shot motivational music for today. Jim Morrison was born in 1943, but died on this day in 1971. His music is fantastic. He was so unique and so different. What a crazy human being he was, experimenting with drugs. But there's one song that he does that I think is the key to success for everybody. Give me Jim Morrison.
Today destroyed the night, night divides the day. Trying to run, trying to hide. Bring on dude to the other side. Bring on dude to the other side. Bring on dude to the other side. Shake up, lay your head. Dug out jail there. They recall, time to cry. Bring on dude to the other side. Bring on dude to the other side. Bring on dude, yeah. Boy.
Boom. So
break on through to the other side.
So it's so funny because this word comes up a lot for me. I am considering it for my word for 2023 because when I talk to people, I say, I've already crossed the bridge. Mark crossed the bridge. I had to break through a lot of shit. I had to break through people saying, what are you doing? You're posting all over the place. Blah, 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 blah. But I know what's on the other side. The people who have not worked with us don't know. They're sitting there. They have to go through the breakthrough. And this will lead to the conversation of meat and potatoes today. In order to break through anything in life, you have to deal with failure. You're not going to just go, okay, I decided to break through and today's my break.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff involved with it. Right?
It's going to hurt. And when you spoke, and I give Yolanda a lot of credit as an interviewer, she said, I want to start with the failure part of your conversation because no matter young or old, if you have not learned to embrace failure, you cannot grow and you cannot break through.
Yeah, I think, the philosophy or the statement that I said, and the thing that I learned from being in coaching was that when I failed, it was very possible that it wasn't my fault. It was very possible that I was not to blame for what happened, yet I had to take responsibility for it. I had to be responsible. So the concept of failure not being your fault, yet being your responsibility was a thing that really unlocked my ability to deal with adversity and hard times and toxic environments or whatever the hell was going on in my world that was really shitty, because that empowered me to take control over what I could control or get back on the horse or get back to doing the work or whatever it was that I needed to do in order to move forward. So I think, the book, there's a lot of talk about failure in that book, which is what I love about it so much, because there's lots of different versions of it. There was failures and losses. There were failures in getting fired. There were failures in the economy coming to a screeching halt in the pandemic and ultimately the business revenue going to zero. There's all different kinds of failures and setbacks, yet the underlying principle to me is, may not be my fault, but it's my responsibility. So what do I need to do in order to get better or improve or get back to where I want to be from where I am right now?
So when I first started or had the opportunity to go out and speak to people, I was formulating how I would react or how I would introduce myself to the audience. And I used to start out by, hi, my name is Steve Nudelberg. And the only reason why I'm here and you're not is that I agreed to fail more than you did. And people would go, you just paid this guy and he's a failure, and I broke it down for them. The failure comes in lots of different ways. There's personal failures, which, if you think about your personal life, you grow from all the failures. There were business failures. People used to say to me, dude, everything you get involved in, you think it's a unicorn. I go, dude, if I didn't think it was a unicorn, why would I get involved? I give everything I got knowing that it could fail. That's a possibility. So I'm not scared of it.
Right.
I go, you know what? Okay, if that happens, then I wasn't supposed to be there, or
I'll cross that bridge when I get there, though, right? Like, you don't allow the fear of what could happen dictate your behavior in the moment. And Michelle uses, one of my points in the book, which is failure's not fatal. There's only one kind of failure that's fatal, and that is heart failure. You get heart failure, major fucking problems. But
that's pretty final.
Right. That's it. That is it, right? But every other kind of failure is not fatal. And if it's not fatal, then there's opportunity coming from that. So, how do you deal with failure? We've talked about the 24-hour rule lots of times before. That's what works for me. But I think you have to have some kind of process, some kind of board of trustees. You got to have some kind of plan and understanding how to deal with it when it happens. Otherwise, you allow it to dictate what happens to you.
So it took me a long time to believe that there is already, when people say your destiny, there already is something charted for you. You got to pay attention to the clues. You got to go through the storm to get to the calm. And here's where it blows my mind, and it happens to me every day. I talk about having an aha moment every day. Something could just be the rainbow that gets me going. Laura Sherwin said, "Light comes out of darkness." That was in my Bible passage this morning.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, that was the headline. I'm like, what? So, clues are everywhere, right? There, you are meant to go through. Oh, wait a minute. Breaking freaking news. Brittany Griner got released.
Wow.
Holy
yeah.
shit.
Finally. Yes.
Amazing. That is
Congratulations to Brittany.
So,
welcome.
She's a great case study in failure. Think she'll ever go through the airport with Bonnie?
Yeah. So talk about situational awareness.
Right.
Like, have some situational awareness about where you're going and what you're doing. But congratulations to her for being released. That's major overcome of failure.
Back a Russian arms dealer.
Whatever.
Whatever. It's exactly right. What do we got to do?
Whatever.
Just it,
Right.
But
Make the
just
move.
closing out this thing on failure. A lot of times, and I think this is really true of everybody. It was true of me. You're so caught up in what will other people think. Oh my God, we crashed. We did this. It didn't work out. Nobody gives a shit.
And that to me was like, I made that point to Sistel yesterday because we were having this conversation about setting the standard. And I was like, do you know what happened after Deion Sanders had that conversation with the team? 27 people walked out of that room and said, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm leaving. I'm out. I don't want to be here. Do you think he was worried about what those kids were going to say to other programs or other people? As soon as you start worrying about what other people think or what other people say, you've now lost control over everything that's happening internally in your mind and what happened and how you respond to everything. It doesn't matter. What is your team saying? What are the people inside the boat? What are the people in the bunker saying? That's what matters. What are you saying? What are you saying internally in your head? That's the only shit that matters.
So awesome. I mean, my head is exploding because as I was growing my companies, it was either you're with me or you're not with me.
Right.
And if you're not with me, go work for my competition, please.
I don't care.
I don't care. You know what? You can't make it here. You can't live by this standard. Please do me a favor. Go work for my competition.
Right. And I think that's hard. I think it's hard. I think
joy with a nugget, joy with an absolute fastball. Thank you, Dad.
Yeah. Says you'll care less about what others think of you when you realize how little they do. And how little it impacts you. The more you give it weight and the more you give it power, the more impact it has on you. The less you give it weight, the less you give it power, the less impact that it has on you. So great conversation about failure this morning. Really great.
Shout out to Kitty. Hadn't seen Kitty in the huddle in a while because she's been running and doing.
Good to see you back, Kitty.
Everybody that's here. Lori, I'm sorry I missed.
Beautiful, Shay. Great job. Excellent work. So there's the QR code. If you guys are interested, we put the link in the comments. He'll put it in there again. Benefits Children Harbor, benefits ABC Cares. Going to be great people and a great time. So hopefully you guys have the opportunity to make it.
What a great show, my man.
We'll see you tomorrow for a finished Friday.
Imagine if we told people our best show ever was talking about failure.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Awesome.
Go fail your ass off.
Let's go. Sit down to business.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business.